Welcome in, everyone. I am so glad you were joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
If you are someone who wants to stay incredibly well-informed without feeling, totally overwhelmed by the relentless fire hose of information out
Well,
there,
it's so easy to do right now.
it really is.
Uh,
But you are in exactly the right place. Today, we have a mission.
a very specific one.
Right. We are taking a deep dive into the absolute state-of-the-art in generative AI.
And we are cutting through a lot of noise to do it.
Exactly. The dense technical jargon, the endless benchmark charts, the startup hype. We are cutting through all of that to figure out what the foundations of this tech actually mean for you
Yep.
and your daily life.
Because it does mean a lot.
And to do that, we're looking at a monumental release. This dropped on March 5, 2026 from OpenAI. We are talking about GPT 5.4.
That's right. And I think to set the stakes for you right out of the gate, we really have to understand that this is not just another incremental update.
Not at all.
We aren't looking at a model that just writes slightly more polite emails or, fixes some basic code syntax.
Yeah, OpenAI is explicitly calling this a frontier model for professional work.
Yes. And what we are looking at here is a complete synthesis.
A synthesis of what, exactly?
It's bringing together advanced reasoning, elite-level coding, and something called agentic workflows into one single package.
Agentic workflows.
Right. And just to clarify that term, when we say agentic, we mean systems that don't just sit there and wait for your next prompt.
They actually do things.
Exactly. They can independently plan, use tools, and execute multi-step goals entirely on their own.
Okay, let's unpack this, because when OpenAI says professional work, I think a lot of us naturally get a little skeptical.
Sure, it sounds like a marketing buzzword.
Exactly. What does that actually mean in practice?
Right.
Are we just talking about summarizing meeting notes faster, or are we talking about actual complex career skills?
We are absolutely talking about highly complex career skills.
Right.
Yeah. To prove it, they evaluated the model using a benchmark called GDPval.
GDPval.
Right. It basically tests an AI's ability to produce well-specified knowledge work across 44 different occupations.
Wow, 44.
And they specifically targeted the top 9 industries that contribute the most to the U.S. GDP.
So we're talking big impact areas.
Massive.
Oh.
Generating sales presentations, optimizing urgent care schedules, building complex accounting spreadsheets.
And how did it actually do?
Well, against actual industry professionals doing those exact same tasks, GPT 5.4 achieved an 83.0% win rate.
Wait. A win rate against actual employed human professionals.
Yes.
That is a substantial jump. Because if I recall the source material correctly, the previous model, GPT 5.2,
5.2.
it was sitting around a 70.9% win rate on similar evaluations, right?
It was. So getting to 83% is a staggering leap.
That's huge.
And when we break down that 83%, it becomes even more clear why this is a paradigm shift.
If it's an example.
They tested this model on an internal benchmark of spreadsheet modeling tasks. These are tasks that a junior investment banking analyst would typically handle.
Okay, so pretty complex financial modeling.
Exactly. GPT 5.4 scored an 87.3% on those tasks.
Wow.
And it gets even more specialized than that. Nico Grupin.
He's the head of applied research at Harvey, right?
Yes, Harvey is a major legal AI company.
Yeah.
Well, he noted that on their big law bench, GPT 5.4 scored 91%.
91% on a legal benchmark.
Yeah, and that benchmark tests incredibly complex transactional legal analysis.
That's not just reading a parking ticket.
No, he specifically pointed out the model's ability to structure complex transactions and maintain accuracy across incredibly lengthy, dense legal contracts.
Okay, but accuracy is always the elephant in the room with generative AI, right?
It is, the hallucinations.
Exactly. If an AI is reviewing a massive legal contract or building an investment banking spreadsheet, a hallucination isn't just some funny quirk.
No, it's a catastrophic liability.
Right. Did the sources indicate if they've actually solved the accuracy problem?
Well, they haven't completely eliminated it, but the reduction in factual errors is highly significant.
How significant?
The documentation shows that on sets of prompts where users had previously flagged errors, GPT 5.4's individual claims are 33% less likely to be false.
Okay, a third less likely to just make something up.
Right. And its full, complete responses are 18% less likely to contain any errors at all compared to 5.2.
That is definitely reassuring. But here is where it gets really interesting for me, and I think for you listening at home, regarding how we actually interact with this tech day to day.
The steerability.
Yes, the steerability. There is a new thinking feature in ChatGPT.
Which changes everything.
It really does,
Yeah.
because in the past, you would give the AI a complex prompt, and then you would just sit there,
Staring at your screen.
right, waiting for it to finish this sprawling output, only to realize it totally misunderstood your very first instruction.
Exactly. It was a very passive experience.
But now, GPT 5.4 provides an upfront plan of its thinking.
It shows its work.
Yeah. It outlines its approach before it goes down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And you can actually interrupt it and adjust its course mid-response while it is working.
What's fascinating here is how fundamentally that shifts our relationship with the technology.
How so?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it transforms the AI from being a simple vending machine.
Put a prompt in the slot, wait for text to fall out.
Exactly. It changes it from that into a truly collaborative colleague.
You're working with it.
You are actively guiding the workflow in real time. If you see it going down the wrong path on step 2 of a 10-step plan, you just step in.
You don't have to start all over.
You don't. You don't have to waste time on multiple additional turns trying to correct a mistake that has already been made.
Which saves so much frustration.
It makes the model far more aligned with what you actually need because you are steering its brain mid-thought.
It's like working with someone on a whiteboard rather than slipping a note under their door and waiting for an essay.
That's a great way to put it.
But let's pivot, because while generating text and spreadsheets is great, our sources highlight something that takes us to a completely different level.
Oh, absolutely.
We are moving from text generation to actual computer operation.
Native computer use.
Right. GPT 5.4 has native state-of-the-art computer use capabilities. It can look at screenshots and literally issue mouse and keyboard commands.
Yes, and this is where we really have to look closely at the benchmarks.
Which one?
Specifically one called OSWorld-Verified.
Okay.
This benchmark measures a model's ability to navigate a standard desktop environment.
So just regular computer tasks.
Exactly. But strictly through taking screenshots and executing keyboard and mouse actions, just like a human would.
And how did it score?
GPT 5.4 hit a 75.0% success rate on this.
Okay, 75% sounds like a solid C grade in school.
Right.
But we need some context for that number.
We do. And the critical piece of data here, and this is a footnote in the research that absolutely cannot be ignored, is that the human baseline on this exact same benchmark is 72.4%.
Wait, pause.
It's wild.
I really want to make sure you all caught that. The AI hit 75%.
Yep.
Human beings sit at 72.4%.
Yeah.
The AI is now statistically better at navigating these desktop tasks than we are.
Better than us.
How is that even possible?
It is a profound threshold to cross,
Yeah.
and it is entirely powered by immense upgrades to the model's visual perception.
Its eyes, so to speak.
Right. Starting with GPT 5.4, there is a new original image input detail level.
What does that mean technically?
It supports full fidelity perception up to 10.24 million total pixels.
Wow. So it's not just looking at a blurry thumbnail anymore.
Not at all.
It sees the screen as clearly as a 4K monitor.
Precisely. That allows the AI to read incredibly dense, complex user interfaces.
Which are everywhere in corporate software.
everywhere. And we see the result of that in the OmniDocBench benchmark.
What does that one measure?
It measures document parsing capabilities. They measure the error rate by calculating the edit distance.
Edit distance.
Yeah, it's essentially how many changes you would have to make to the AI's output to make it perfectly match the correct answer.
Got it. And the score.
That error rate dropped to an astonishing 0.109.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you in the real world? Let me give you an example straight from the source material.
This is a good one.
Don Frazier, the CEO at Mainstay, talked about evaluating this computer use performance across roughly 30,000 different property tax and homeowner association portals.
Which are notoriously terrible to navigate.
Oh, we all know how clunky, outdated, and downright awful those government and corporate portals can be.
A nightmare.
But GPT 5.4 achieved a 95% success rate on the very first attempt navigating those portals.
Oh, 95%. On the first try.
Just imagine that for your own life. Imagine never having to manually pull data from a terrible, confusing website again because an AI can literally see the interface.
It could find the obscure drop-down menu.
Click it and pull the exact data for you.
It is an incredible unlock for efficiency. And that ability to see and click translates directly into another major capability:
Coding.
coding. GPT 5.4 incorporates all the industry-leading coding strengths of their previous model, GPT 5.3 Codex,
Right.
but it combines them with this new visual computer use capability. And for the developers out there, they have introduced a feature called /fast mode in Codex.
And what exactly does fast mode do?
It delivers 1.5 times faster token velocity.
Meaning?
In plain terms, token velocity is the speed at which the AI actually spits out the raw code characters on the screen.
Oh, I see.
By speeding it up, developers aren't just sitting around waiting for the code to generate.
It matches their natural reading speed.
It matches their natural typing and reading flow. It allows them to stay in a deep flow state while iterating and debugging.
And the developers are definitely noticing the difference.
Absolutely.
Lee Robinson, the VP of Developer Education at Cursor, was quoted in the sources saying that their engineers find this new model to be more natural and assertive than previous versions.
Assertive is an interesting word for an AI.
It is. He specifically noted that it works through ambiguous programming problems without second-guessing itself.
It just executes.
But I want to share my absolute favorite anecdote from the source material about this coding capability, because it really paints a picture of what this looks like in practice.
The theme park.
Yes. They demonstrated this with a feature called Playwright Interactive. They gave the AI a single, lightly specified prompt to create an interactive, isometric theme park simulation game.
Think along the lines of those classic roller coaster tycoon games.
Exactly.
And the crucial thing to understand here is that this wasn't just the AI generating lines of code in a vacuum, handing it to a human and hoping it worked.
Exactly. It didn't just write the code. The AI used Playwright Interactive to physically playtest the game in the browser as it was building it.
It played its own game.
It really did. It generated the isometric assets, little rides, the winding paths, the trees, the food stalls.
Which is impressive enough.
But then it actually automated browser playtests. It placed and removed paths itself. It checked the camera navigation to make sure you could pan around the park.
It checked the UI.
It confirmed that the simulated guests were actually reacting to the layout. It checked if the guest queuing systems worked at the rides.
Unbelievable.
It monitored the park's simulated money, the cleanliness ratings, the guest happiness, and it visually verified that the user interface metrics updated correctly over several rounds of actual play.
This raises an incredibly important question about the nature of software development going forward.
How so?
Well, it's not just about generating text that happens to be code anymore. The AI has entered a continuous autonomous loop.
Creation and testing.
Yes, it is creation, followed immediately by execution, followed by visual verification of the result, and then iteration based on what it actually sees happening on the screen.
In real time.
In that theme park example, the AI is acting as the lead developer, the quality assurance tester, and the end player, all simultaneously.
Okay, but this brings up a huge logistical question.
Let's hear it.
If this AI is doing all of this, if it's searching massive property tax portals, playtesting simulation games, and using all these different external software tools, how does the model's brain not just melt down from information overload?
Right, it seems like too much data.
Yeah. How does it manage these complex tool ecosystems without becoming incredibly slow or, frankly, prohibitively expensive to run?
That is the right question to ask, and it brings us to a vital technical improvement under the hood.
Which is?
Tool search.
Okay, explain tool search.
Previously, if you wanted an AI to be able to use a list of external tools, say a calculator, a web browser, and a database, you had to load every single tool's entire instruction manual into the prompt up front.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you had a system with dozens of tools, you might be loading tens of thousands of tokens into the context window before the AI even started working on your actual problem.
That sounds incredibly inefficient.
It was wasteful, it was slow, and it crowded the model's memory with completely irrelevant information.
Okay, let me use an analogy here to make sure I'm grasping this.
Go for it.
It's like hiring a brilliant research assistant and giving them access to a sprawling university library.
Okay.
But instead of just letting them walk to the right section when they need a specific fact, the old way forced them to physically carry every single book from every single shelf in their arms all at once.
Just in case they needed one of them.
Right. But now, with GPT 5.4's tool search, They receive a lightweight list of what's available. They just know exactly which shelf to check, and they only pull the specific definition when the problem actually arises.
That is a perfect way to visualize it, and the efficiency gains from that change are easily measurable.
Let's hear the numbers.
On the MCP Atlas benchmark, which tests tool use across 36 different servers, this new tool search configuration reduced total token usage by 47%.
Cut it almost in half.
And it did that while maintaining the exact same level of accuracy.
That is a huge cost savings for anyone building applications on top of this.
Massive.
And speaking of searching, the model's ability to browse the open web has also hit a new level.
Right, the BrowseComp benchmark.
Exactly. On the BrowseComp benchmark, which tests persistent web browsing to find hard-to-locate information, the Pro version of GPT 5.4 set a new state-of-the-art score of 89.3%.
That's incredibly high for web browsing.
Wade, the CEO at Zapier, called it the most persistent model to date.
Persistence is key.
Because persistence is historically something AI struggles with. Usually, if an AI doesn't find the answer on the first or second Google search,
It just apologizes and gives up.
exactly. But this model finishes the job on those needle-in-a-haystack searches.
And to support those deep, persistent searches, GPT 5.4 and Codex includes experimental support for a 1 million token context window.
1 million tokens.
Just to conceptualize that, it allows agents to plan, execute, and verify tasks across very long horizons. It can hold vast amounts of documentation or code in its active memory.
Which is incredible.
Though it is worth noting for the developers out there is a catch.
There's always a catch.
Requests that exceed the standard 272,000 token context window do count against usage limits at twice the normal rate.
Good to know. Everything comes with a price.
It does.
Which perfectly transitions us to the logistical realities of this release: safety and pricing.
Two very important topics.
Let's start with safety, because an AI that can navigate the web and write code autonomously is a double-edged sword. How is OpenAI handling the guardrails?
Well, they are treating GPT 5.4 as a high cyber capability model under their preparedness framework.
High cyber capability.
Because cybersecurity capabilities are dual use, meaning the exact same skills used to defend a server can be used to attack one.
Right.
So they are implementing zero data retention, or ZDR, surfaces.
And in simple terms,
It means the data isn't being stored long-term, but it is passing through asynchronous blocking and monitoring systems to ensure it isn't being used maliciously.
that makes sense. But there was one safety detail in the sources that really caught my eye, and I need you to explain it.
Oh, the COT controllability.
Yes. It revolves around this concept called chain of thought controllability. The sources say that GPT 5.4's ability to control its own chain of thought is actually low.
Yes, it is low.
Wait, it has low controllability over its own thoughts. Isn't it a bad thing if the model can't control itself?
It sounds totally counterintuitive, right? But this is actually a major win for safety. They introduced a new open-source evaluation to measure whether a model can deliberately obfuscate or hide its reasoning to evade human monitoring.
Oh, I see where this is going.
When they say its controllability is low, it means the AI is bad at hiding its true thoughts.
So it can't keep secrets from us.
Exactly. It lacks the ability to effectively disguise its reasoning from the human monitors overseeing it.
That is fascinating.
It ensures that chain-of-thought monitoring remains a highly effective safety tool because the model simply can't deceive the systems watching it.
Okay. So it's a terrible liar when it comes to its own internal monologue.
Precisely.
That is definitely a good thing. So let's talk availability.
The rollout.
GPT 5.4 is rolling out to ChatGPT Plus, Team, Pro, and Enterprise users.
Right.
It is officially replacing the GPT 5.2 Thinking model, which will stick around in the legacy menu for a bit, but is officially retiring on June 5, 2026.
Say goodbye to 5.2.
And for the developers using the API, let's look at the pricing. The base GPT 5.4 model is priced at 2.50 cents per million input tokens and 15 per $1 million output tokens.
Pretty standard there.
But there is also that GPT 5.4 Pro version we mentioned, which is built for maximum performance on the most complex tasks.
Yeah.
And that one is significantly heavier on the wallet.
It is a steep jump.
Yeah.
The Pro model comes in at 30 per $1 million input tokens and 180 per $1 million output tokens.
Wow. That is a completely different stratosphere of pricing.
It is, but it reflects the reality of the business value we discussed earlier.
The benchmarks.
Yes. If you have an enterprise model that can reliably score 91% on complex transactional legal analysis.
Or 87% on junior investment banking spreadsheets.
Exactly. The value of that output easily justifies the $180 per $1 million token cost for a law firm or a bank.
You're paying for a professional.
No, you are essentially paying for elite, expert-level consulting by the token.
That puts it in perspective. So what does this all mean for you? Let's bring this all together.
Let's do it.
We started today by exploring the foundations of generative AI, looking at OpenAI's newest frontier model,
GPT-5.4.
And we've journeyed through a system that doesn't just write text, but actually beats humans at desktop navigation.
It builds, playtests, and iterates on its own video games.
It searches sprawling tool libraries efficiently, and it allows you to steer its brain mid-thought.
Which is incredible.
This isn't just a tech update. This is a fundamental shift in what we consider knowledge work to be.
It truly is. And I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Building upon a very specific data point we discussed earlier, we noted that on the OSWorld benchmark, GPT 5.4 achieved a 75% success rate at navigating a desktop environment.
While human beings sit at 72.4%.
Right. The moment the AI became a better computer user than the humans who built the computer.
Which is still blowing my mind.
To think about the implications of that. If an AI agent is now statistically better at navigating our desktop operating systems and web portals than human beings are, how long will it be until we stop designing visual user interfaces for human eyes altogether?
Oh, wow.
If the primary user of a computer is soon going to be an AI agent looking at screenshots and pulling data on our behalf, the future of software design might not be about user-friendly buttons.
Or intuitive drop-downs.
Or pleasant color schemes for human fingers and human eyes.
Oh, so what will it be?
We might be moving toward hyper-efficient visual layouts designed entirely for AI perception.
Wow. I need a second to just process that. Software designed for the machine's eyes, not ours. Websites that look like absolute chaotic nonsense to us, but allow an AI agent to parse 10,000 data points in a single screenshot.
It's a completely new paradigm.
That is a wild paradigm shift to think about. It changes the entire concept of what a screen is even for.
It really does.
Well, on that note, that is all the time we have for our deep dive today. Thank you so much for joining us and learning along with us.
Thanks, everyone.
Keep questioning, keep exploring these state-of-the-art frontiers, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.